Look, I know you've already achieved unheard of levels of success as an entrepreneur. So the real question is, while the world is radically shifting, how do we not get caught up in the chaos, but instead access our untapped capacity? You know what I'm talking about. I'm Katie Richardson, business coach to superstar entrepreneurs and host of What's Working Now. I'm here to show you how to unlock and magnify your untapped potential. Welcome back to the show. I'm Katie Richardson. Today, we have an incredible guest, Marcus Kallias. On his journey to a $170 million exit, had a life of unexpected turmoil, I'm going to say. And I'm just going to tell you now, I don't even know the story yet. And Marcus is here to tell us the story of how you can play a bigger game. That's the book he's releasing right now. This is his mission, his passion. Marcus, welcome to the show.
Katie, I am so excited to be here. Thank you for your time. And I'm just so excited to give people action today. We are going to give people actionable steps so that they can start transforming their lives and do more, play bigger. And I know you and I are going to have a good time.
I agree. And Marcus, you're a man with big passion, big drive, and a lot of times the seed of that can get created with a lot of pain. Tell us the story of an experience that has radically formed and shaped how you view the world today.
Oof, man, where do I even start? There are so many. And, I want to start by talking broader sense. You're absolutely right. We are shaped by these traumatic events and these challenges that we face. So I just want to highlight for people, don't fear the challenges. Don't look at your past trauma and go, oh my goodness, that's why I'm not going to succeed in life. In fact, it's quite the opposite is true. Your trauma makes you so unique and so strong in your own way. It's usually the thing that's going to help you succeed. It's going to propel you forward. So I love helping people recognize that, that thing you've always held back is your trauma that's the dead weight that I'm carrying with me. Actually, that's your rocket fuel to make you so unique and special. And that's what the world needs right now is a person who dealt with that, got through that, and now can teach others. So my world was shaped by the divorce. When I was 7, my parents divorced, but my father was already not really in the picture, but now he was really not in the picture. And now at that moment, my mom had to go back to school full-time and work full-time. So I lost both of my parents on that day. That messed me up as a kid. And I think it would mess up a lot of kids. I learned a ton of independence through that. But for the next 8 more years, so until I was 15, I had this really, what I would call a crappy life. I was on a path for nothing. We were so poor. I was so poor in spirit. I was so poor in confidence. I had my Lithuanian growth spurt when I was 13, 14. It's 120 pounds at 6'4". It was rough. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it when women go, wait a minute. That's really tall. And there's no way. Yeah. 120, 6'4". So guess what? I didn't think anything of myself. I was so embarrassed. I listened to what all the bullies said about me. But at 15, there was my turning point. That was when I had had enough. I hit my rock bottom. And it happened to be when God spoke to me and said, hey, you don't have to live this life. You could be a different person. What if you didn't listen to all the voices? What if you didn't get formed by what's said about you, what you're told to be, and you could just be yourself? My world radically changed at that moment.
First of all, thank you so much for sharing everything that you have so far. And I love that God has entered the room. For you, what does that feel like, sound like? How do you know that that's God speaking to you? Can you share with us a little bit more on that?
I would love to. Thank you. I don't always lead the conversation there, but I love when it goes there. Because that is honestly one of the questions I get asked the most, not because of just that story. I'm very I love my relationship with my Lord, and he speaks to me a lot. And so people often are like, how do you know? And sometimes it's like, how do you know? I'm good with either way. I'm good with the question being asked no matter what. That one was very clear though, because I was in such a bad place. And now looking back, I know that was the moment I had to have a life change. My whole life changed radically in that moment. And I felt God speak to me. So not only did I hear something, but you feel it. When it's God speaking, you can feel it. Not a little feeling. It's not like, oh yeah, maybe I should do this. It's like, oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to change right now. It was not even remotely a question. So just to give you a little more detail of the story, my father had popped back into my life at that moment and said, hey, I'm going with my new family on a trip. Would you like to come with us? And of course, I haven't been on a trip in forever. Yes, please. And so we were actually on a trip to Maui. And again, remember, me and my mom and my sister, like we're living poor. Now I'm going to Maui. What? And I'm on this plane ride when I heard God speak. And of course I felt like, oh my goodness, I am going to be a different person when I get off this plane. And I stepped off the plane, a totally different human being. I went up to the coolest kids I could find, and it was legit. I was just like, this is who I am. What's up? I'm Marcus. And they accepted me as this person. And back at home, again, remember, I'm still 120. I'm still 6'4". Girls wouldn't look at me at home if I set myself on fire. I'm dating girls on this trip, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. And it was God reassuring me, hey, now you're listening to me. Now you're on the path I have blessed and laid out for you. And this is the man I want you to be. He reinforced that so beautifully for me that now I'm like, oh, this is who I will be for the rest of my life. Now, here's a key point though. When people feel this change coming, or they've started to make this change, we're going to be tempted to go back to our old ways because that's our default way. For me, I was blessed enough to see so much benefit of making these major changes, but I knew I had to now make the changes to who I was. I had to build the habits so that I could keep being this guy. If you want to be a super confident person, you have to do what confident people do.
Marcus, what's cool is you had this really profound internal shift and change. And I wonder if the fact that you were traveling, which you literally had a new perspective, right? There's a perspective change externally. What's interesting when we always stay in the same environment is our reality is signaling evidences of the past, but you were literally moving, traveling in a new environment, and it makes it easier to change.
Yes.
And so, one of the things when you notice if you're stuck in a rut, like go on a trip or move, literally move to a new place. And there's something about that physically moving and also just being in a new environment. Something about it opens us up. And that's what I'm also hearing from you. Like you heard it and you felt it because you were open, you were traveling, you were moving, new environment. That's super cool.
Katie, such great dissection. And you know what? I just want to reiterate what you're saying because I so agree with what you're saying. I've always told people, if you get to a really dark place, like I hate to use the word, but if you were ever like suicidal, I always say, what if you just picked up and moved to Mexico right now for 6 months or a year? Your problems will very unlikely follow you there. Like, if you're avoiding the tax man or the law, you might have other problems. But the problems that make you so miserable, pick up and go, start fresh. Like you could just paint a new picture for yourself. So I love that you're highlighting that. And I totally agree with you.
So at 15, you started to feel within yourself, this is who I am. I'm Marcus Kallias. This is who I am. How did that start to impact your external reality as that shift was happening internally? You talked about girls and being able to date. As you started to continue to grow, what else did you notice?
So I'm going to give you, I learned this at 15 and then I developed it over the next 30 more years. But this is possibly the best piece of advice I can give you. you already know the answers inside of you to how you need to be to become that better version of yourself. So if I asked you, what do you think you need to be? What do you think you need to look like physically? People usually go, well, a little more shoulders back, a little more eye contact. Yeah, you're nailing it. Yes, these are the things. And now you just kind of go through them and go, well, I'd have to do this, 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 and this. And it's like, okay, so what's stopping you from doing those things? Oh, I guess it's just me. If you really be honest with yourself and you have someone like Katie or me talking to you, we'll just keep peeling it back. The truth is, it's you. You are deciding who you want to be. And most of us are choosing to play a really small game, a really small version of ourselves. And there's no blame coming from me. There's nothing but mercy, because we are inundated with advertisements, with companies with billions of dollars who would prefer you to play that smaller game. They want you on the couch 6 hours a day watching Netflix. They want you eating fast food nonstop. They want you on all these prescriptions because all of that works for them. None of that works for me. So this idea of what I had to keep doing is, keep checking myself. Hey, who do I want to be? Do I want this in my life? What do I have to do to get this? And then doing those things consistently. Go after it every single day. Take action.
Marcus, you built a supplement company that ultimately led you to a $170 million exit. That's a big number. And what I do know about you is you have a beautiful wife. You've got 2 beautiful daughters. A lot of times those worlds can feel very incompatible. Tell us a little bit about that journey. And I'm going to say even include part of the dark side, the struggle to building a significant business while deepening your relationship with your wife, while being present with your daughters. What were some of the things that maybe you messed up and then you learned from those? Tell us some of those stories.
I'd love to share. Katie, my apologies. I heard you say it before and I didn't correct it in time. It was a $170 million company, but I didn't have a $170 million exit. There's small semantics, but I'm a man of integrity.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
no,
I'm a man
totally
of integrity,
appreciate
so I didn't want to just keep nodding, and then my friends would be like, "Hey, did you get 170 for that?" And I'm like, "Oh, let's hold on." So
I love
just wanted to make sure. Not a huge difference, but it is a difference.
It is.
Back to my family. So one of the things I love talking about with other businessmen is your identity. Is it built solely or primarily on your business? And I mean, this doesn't obviously just go for businessmen, for women as well, but I talk to a lot of fathers. So the simplest way to ask yourself this question is, are you a businessman who has a family, or are you a family man who has a business? And so for me, and again, you guys now know my backstory, I was not going to be a businessman who had a family on the side. And I already know how that was going to work out. By the way, divorce is absolutely a curse in my family. It is a curse that has impacted over 70 Kalliases and counting, unfortunately. But it is not going to impact my downline. So I always prioritized my family first. And I had big conversations with my wife early on to set the standards and to set the parameters for how I was going to be as a businessman. And one of the key conversations we had was my expectations of work hours versus hers. And so I agreed early on in our relationship to say, one, our relationship will always take precedence. If I have to drop everything and come home and spend time with you, that's what I will do, no matter what the cost to the business. And number 2, I was going to agree to 40 to 50 hour work weeks. And I know that sounds crazy for people who are trying to be entrepreneurs. They're like, what? Come on, 40 to 50 hours is just the warm up. Yeah. I think our brains are much more incredible than I think most people think. If you tell your brain, hey, we have this window to be successful, guess what? You're going to figure out ways. That's how incredible your brain is. You will work harder and smarter in this on this runway. If you give it this much runway, it's the exact same if I said, hey, Katie, can you get that project to me for June 1st? When are you going to start working on it? I think probably May 15th sounds about right. But if I said, hey, instead of these 4 months, you now have this much time, you'll figure out a way. And unfortunately, our brains just constantly go to the default mode, which is, I'll just work more hours. I'll put in more hours. And my argument to those people is always, how valuable were you those last 10 hours that you worked? Like, how intelligent were you? How valuable was that work? And because now you're exhausted, how about the first 10 hours of next week? And if you really look at the quality versus quantity, I'm a quality guy. So I will sprint for those 40 hours so that I can be with my family. And now here's where the whole equation gets turned upside down. What if, because we're having our family issues and I'm not the father I wish I was, I don't have the relationship with my kids, what if that now takes me into work as a worse version of myself? Well, the answer is it does. What if I'm doing such great things in my family life and I have this amazing relationship with my wife who loves and respects and lifts me up, and my kids who respect me, and I have this incredible relationship with my kids, and I'm the father I want to be? How does that take me into my work week? Yes, I can dominate over here because I have so much love over here and I have so much focus over here. I'm so intentional with my time with my family that makes me the businessman I could be. And that to me is playing a bigger game, and where I encourage people, like, if you are married, if you have kids, make them the priority. The pain of divorce, the pain of anger, the pain and frustration of fights, going to bed angry, waking up angry, trying to pass that person in the hall without making eye contact, that destroys your business and destroys all your relationships that you're trying to create in the business world. So get this right, and this is going to flourish.
Totally on board. And I want to play devil's advocate here.
Please.
Because, one of the things that you said really early on was talking about prioritizing family first, which sounds great on paper. But then you talked about how sitting down with your wife and these are her work hours, these are your work hours. What if somebody listening to us right now is like, I don't have, my spouse is not supportive of the fact that I'm building a business. And they don't even have that alignment with their spouse right now. And they're still trying to make things work. Good for you, Marcus. My reality is very different. My reality is maybe I'm not even married, or I'm struggling in my marriage. What would you say to that person?
That's a really, really big and tough question. And I have so much mercy for anyone in that situation. My answer, though, is really the only answer. You have to increase your communication. You have to. That has to be made right. And the only way it's going to be made right is communication. And I, unfortunately, I'm going to speak for men here because I know a lot of men who do this the wrong way. Well, she'll get it when I bring home my first $1 million check. No, she won't. In fact, most of the time, that will actually make things worse, because you're doing it against my wishes. This is all you. This is selfish. This is boom, boom. And you're like, what? I brought home $1 million check. What? How could you possibly look at this as a negative thing? I get it. From someone sitting back, I can see that. So the communication has to happen today. Come to the table and say, is there a way we can see eye to eye on this? I feel called to this path, to do this, to have this business. Is there any way we can work together on this? Find out now. Like, God forbid it's going to be a blow up. I'd rather the blow up happen for you today, and then there's possibility of mending, than it happen in a while from now, because you guys are just going to be on different roads and you will be so much further apart. And I'm sorry to say, I've seen this an unbelievable amount of times. You right now are on two different paths going very opposite ways. If today is as close as you're going to get So today is the best day to go. Is there any way we can bring our paths back together? The fact that you're coming to her with this will be a huge leg up. She hopefully will at least see, okay, I appreciate that you're bringing the conversation. You need to be prepared. Anything can come out of her mouth. Like, I want you to shut the business down. It doesn't mean, I'm not saying, okay, you're gonna have to shut the business down, but you need to listen and not come at it with this mentality. Come at it with like, I'm listening. And okay, can I speak my point now? I feel like I'm called to do this. I feel like this is the most excited I've ever been in life, in work, not in life, period, because being with you has been the most exciting. But this, if I don't pursue this, I know I'm going to forever regret it. Is there any way we can figure this out? And they come to this loving place, and maybe there's a bridge. But if you just ignore it, there's no bridge that's going to be able to mend that gap.
Love this. So what I heard you saying as you were talking about increasing communication with your spouse is that also means listening. Yes. And I think too often we think we need to speak up, we need to make sure we're being heard. And the way that you become heard in a conversation is by first listening. So I really appreciate that you pointed that out. And then you also talked about then once you've listened, then speaking your truth, that this is more than a business for me. This is a calling. This is something that's meaningful to me. With that in mind, you know, you've done significant things in the supplement business. You exited that. You now are in this space of high performance. What is your mission right now?
Oh, wow. What a beautiful and loaded question. Thank you. I really love pouring into others. This is my chapter in life, to serve others. I love watching others who are on this path just further back figure their stuff out, help them figure their stuff out. I love if people listen and can take my 30 years of experience and get all the success that I experienced in 30 years crammed into their next 3 or 4 years. That is success to me. My definition of success is watching others live up to their potential and experience success in their life. That excites me so much. That's where my heart is. That's where I get on fire for it. And when I find people, and I want to say young people, but it's not young, it's youthful. When the people who have that youthful spirit of like, I am changing my life, I'm going to transform my family's life. Here's what I want to do. And I'm listening and I'm learning and I'm growing. Oh my goodness, I love pouring into those people. So the book this is a big piece of that. God wrote this book through me. And I want to be so clear on that, because as I was sitting down, I mean, first of all, he called me to write it. It was so clear I was supposed to write it, but I was just praying and I'm like, God, I don't even know what to write. And I let him write through me. And so many times I would read what was on the screen and I'm going to say what I'm going to say with no ego. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so good. Not because I wrote it, because he wrote these words through me. And I'm so excited to share them with the world. And by the way, the book is called Play a Bigger Game. And it's all about the lessons, the mindset tools, the tips, the perspective shifts that I used to live and create the life that I created. And you can do it much faster than me. And there's so many challenges in the book. I constantly finish any point with a challenge so that you can put it into action immediately. And you can start to recognize, oh my goodness, if I just did this piece every day, just one of these challenges will radically change the path of your life. And that excites me so much.
As I can tell, I love it. I love the passion. I love the drive. And I can only imagine the pain of your past is a part of that, right? That's where that passion, the capacity for that drive and that passion comes from, is from those dark moments and that pain. Yes. I can tell that you have a deep connection with God. What are things that you do now or that you've done to develop this deep connection with God so you can hear his voice in your life, so you do feel connected, so that he can write through you as you described? What are those practices that you have?
Oh, beautiful question. Thank you. And let me start by saying this. I don't believe I'm special in some way that's like, well, I'll tell you, I get this relationship with God, but it's not for everybody. The opposite is true. There's nothing special about me, and everything I'm about to say is available to everyone because that's how amazing our God is. If you just come to him, and it's like, think about it like any other relationship. What do you have to do? Well, you have to get to know the person. Good. He's taught us how to get to know him. There's a book that you should be reading about him, and you should look into it often. You need to spend intentional time with the person. So what if every day I just went to my wife and I'm like, honey, I wish that you would make me a good breakfast, a good dinner, and I hope I have a really good day today. Bye, honey. Bye-bye. How's my relationship with my wife going to be? Not so good, and it won't even take long before it starts to sour. So there's so much more than just like, God, this is what I want, and thank you for this. Bye-bye. How about listening? And by the way, I didn't do this for so many years, and finally, I listened for the first time when people are like, are you taking time to listen? We ask for so many things, but do you stop and listen for an answer? That's the wildest thing. In my belief, he is constantly talking to us, constantly. Yeah. Not like, oh, hopefully if I sit here long enough, I'll just be able to grab that one message that he might. I think he's constantly speaking. We're just constantly not listening. And when I say listening, it's so much more than just like, okay, I got about a minute here. Okay, God, 40 seconds left. God, hurry. Ah, shoot. Oh yeah, in the subway. And then I got to do this and this. God, hurry. I got to think about the, hold on. Take some time. The best thing you can do, my best advice for this, get into nature. Go somewhere where there's trees, where there's peace, where there's quiet, where you can't hear cars, you can't hear the highway. You leave your thoughts behind and you just are still. In that stillness, you will hear from him. He wants to talk to us. He wants a relationship with every one of us. So I've just taken him up on the offer. And guess what? It's awesome. Not only do I get to hear him, but I get to feel his peace. This is the number one thing he wants to offer us. Imagine if you had peace in everything, even in your challenging times. So I'm not saying, yeah, now that I've got God, I have no problems. I have bigger challenges now than I have ever had in my life, which is crazy to me because I was sold this idea, Marcus, once you have the money, the problems are gone. That's a very big lie that's being told. So don't always think at the end of the rainbow. And I'm also not going, oh, this guy who has money has problems, boo-hoo. No. The challenges keep coming, but I always have peace because I have God. He is not allowing any of these things to come through that are going to destroy me. If I choose to let them destroy me, then yeah, they're going to destroy me. But if I keep turning to him, even in my weakest times, especially in my weakest times, he will give me the strength to get through it. And it amazes me, not because of anything I'm doing, but when I get through challenges, I'm like, I can't believe you did what you just did, God. I can't believe it. And then it allows me to be even in more gratitude and spend more time with him because it's like, why wouldn't I?
Quick question for you. What would happen in your business and life if you could show up powerfully? As a coach to high-performing entrepreneurs, I help intelligent people like you do just that. And if you want to be inspired by people who are getting more done in 90 days than most people do all year, I'm going to invite you to go check out my case studies. The website is now.katierichardsson.com/case study. And the cool thing is we've got so many case studies there. You can find an entrepreneur who's just like you. I've also got a link for you down in the show notes. Okay, back to Marcus. You're giving us the keys to the kingdom. I love it. So good. So good. I would guess, you have played a big game. I would also guess that you are playing a big game, right? That you're not just leaning on the laurels of your past success, but that you're pushing and challenging yourself and continuing to learn and grow. So what is that challenge for you today?
Wow, you're really good at what you do. You are really good at these questions. They're so beautiful. They're so leading. And man, I feel good about myself right now. I am absolutely constantly looking to up my game, play a bigger game every single day. And it is truly a motto for life. I'm not just one of those guys who just talks the talk. I love walking the walk. I actually love it. It feels best to me when I'm growing. So some of the key things that I do every single day for personal growth, because by the way, personal growth is where the juice is. If you are not growing right now in life, you're not doing something to improve yourself, I would guess you are suffering with anxiety issues because you're too much just focusing on like, but how does this make me feel? And what should I do about this? If you start going, I'm doing something about it, even if it's a tiny little thing. I got some exercise today. All right, that's awesome. That's a great start. I listened to a really good podcast today. That goes really far because it's challenging my mind. And I'm taking action on the stuff I learned. So I'm also one of Tony's plats. So I spend some time with Tony Robbins. I've been actually following him for over 30
Can you explain what that means? You're in his platinum group. I don't know what that means. Can you
So the
explain that?
plats, it's kind of a inner circle, if you will. We get invited to all of his events, but then we also have special platinum only events. And we get special time with Tony, and he gives us constant special messages. Tony Robbins, he's unbelievable for personal development. Like he really can grab you and just instantly change the way you look at things. And, I'm not trying to be the next Tony by any means, but there are pieces of me that loves helping people just look at the world slightly different, where you go, oh my goodness, yeah, if I kept that perspective, everything would change forever. And it's like, yes, let's do that. And I believe so much in that stuff. So I constantly am doing events, and not only speaking at events, but I also go sit in events constantly because I want more personal growth. I'm trying to mentor tons of different people. I love spending time with young entrepreneurs, youthful entrepreneurs. This new community that's been created by God, and he called me to be one of the curators, be one of the leaders. It's called Play a Bigger Game. Yeah, big surprise there. Playabiggergame.com. And it's a community for people who know they should be or could be playing a bigger game or are called to play a bigger game in life. And it allows you to surround yourself by big thinkers, people who are going to challenge you in a loving and respectful way. Community is what most people don't have anymore. We don't realize it. I think COVID destroyed so many communities, and most of us didn't pick it back up. When you get a taste of this kind of community, it's like, oh my goodness, I've missed this so much. What is this feeling? And when you surround yourself by big thinkers who want the best for you, who ask the right questions, and then we send people away with some homework, and then they come back and they're like, this is changing my life. My relationship with my kids is better. My relationship with my wife is better. With my husband, with my future husband. I actually love working with single people who are developing themselves into the person that they need to be to attract the person they want to attract. I love doing that stuff. Like there's so much that I get, so much joy I get out of that. And this is a key part of me playing a bigger game is I get to give back to people every single day and take these tools, these blessings, these gifts that God has given me and share them with the world. I mean, now I'm living in my purpose.
I love it. And I would guess that you have tried and tested multiple different ways to grow your community. What's working now, Marcus, with growing your community?
Oh, wow. That's an excellent question. We're organic to me is always the best. Like, yes, we do bring people in off of social media. We bring people in off of funnels, or nothing is as good as organic though. And what I mean by that is I love to over deliver. I mean, truly what we're offering is so much love and support. And the leaders are in such alignment with who they're supposed to be. So none of the leaders are like, I'm trying this leadership thing out. I don't think I'm doing it. I don't like it much. No. Everybody, like when you hear these people speak, they're like speaking from the heart. And it's like, hey, I've been on this planet 35 years, 45 years, 55 years to be this human being. and they pour in. And what happens is the people are receiving and transforming, and they're going, you guys, you got to be part of this. Hey, you got to be part of this. And they're bringing people in, and it's so beautiful. It's magic. I get to experience magic every single day.
What's the format? Because sometimes when you get a lot of people on Zoom, it can be tricky to navigate the logistics of that. So to really have a deep connection with these people, what are some things you're doing to facilitate that?
Oh, that's really good. So you're so right. And there's multiple things we're doing. We do a lot of performance coaching and mentoring. So it gets you the one-on-one stuff. We do lots of breakout rooms. So when we're on these bigger Zooms, almost constantly we go, okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. For the next 5 minutes, we're going to have you write down. So here's an example. And a great thing, anybody can do this right now. After I give you this task, you can press pause and then come back to this podcast after. But I want you to write down 3 new habits that you need to implement in your life to achieve the goals you want to achieve and become the person you want to become. So you know what they are. You know these habits you would need to do. Wow, man, I guess I'd have to exercise more. Great. But now go deeper. Once you've got the 3 habits, now I want some actual detail. It's not good enough to just go, yeah, I should do that. I should work out. Okay. If you should, and you know you should, you probably would have already been working out. One of the reasons you failed, there's not enough detail and commitment to this plan. So if you wrote down, I should work out more, I want to know, 1, when? Tell me when. When are you working out? Okay, well, I'm going to work out at 5 p.m. Okay, great. Where? Where is it? Well, there's a gym. Which one? It's on Fairfax. I'm going to go to the gym on Fairfax at 5 p.m. Okay, now visualize it. Is that possible? Are you allowed off work at 4 p.m. so you could be there at 5 p.m.? Oh, well, no, I get off work at 5 p.m. Well, that doesn't work then, does it? So now what time are we talking about? How long does it take you to get to the gym? You actually have to take these concrete, clear steps and write down these details. So by the end of it, 5:30 p.m., the gym on Fairfax, I'm going to work out for 45 minutes. Look at how much clearer that is. And now you're like, hey, that's the new plan. I have to do this. And now that it's a plan like this, something else is going to come up where it's like, hey, can we meet up at 6? You have to go, actually, no, I'm booked from 5:30 until 6:15. And then I got to go home and shower or whatever I got to do. Now you start moving on your habits. And so this is what we do. We write down your habits and now go into your breakout room. You need to now pitch those habits to the other 2 people in your breakout room. And the other people in the breakout room, I want you to be listening for details. If the details aren't clear enough, you get more detail. This is challenging each other in a loving and respectful way so that you come up with a concrete game plan. And now at the end of it, you go, how do you feel about your new habit? Do you think you're actually going to do it? I really do. And because I had to explain it in great detail to these other people, now I'm ready to go. And then when we bring them back into the room, we love celebrating. So we celebrate the wins. Is there anybody who'd like to share? Did anyone have a bit of a transformative experience through this? Few people put up their hands and they're like, this is what I'm going to do. And then there's 80 or 100 people going, you're going to do it. Yes. The chat fills up with the support. Imagine this person who stepped out of their comfort zone to go, here's what I'm going to do. Now there's 80 to 100 people smiling, cheering you on, saying you can do it. You're like, oh, now I'm accountable to these people. I know I'm going to show up here next week. I better have said I've got 3 workouts under my belt. It's such a winning process. And the truth is these processes are easier than everyone thinks. You just have to start moving on them, taking action, and learn from the people who've already done it. It's called modeling. If someone's already done it, they can teach you how to do it. Now you just need to do it.
Marcus, what you're describing, it sounds like a physical in-person event with these breakout rooms, but you're talking about Zoom, correct?
Yeah.
Like you're doing this virtually. How do you do that on Zoom? I like technically, you can break out into groups on a Zoom call and then come back together as a group?
Yes.
You're blowing my mind.
Zoom's incredible, right? So we have moderators, obviously, because I'm trying to lead and my brother's leading. We can't be doing all this. But it's amazing. The mods, I mean, you learn it like this. And what happens is we choose ahead of time, how many people do we want in our breakout room? And she already coordinates who's going in what room.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I say, okay, everybody go to your breakout rooms, something comes up on the middle of the screen and it says, go to your breakout room. And all you have to do is click, go to your breakout room. And then when it's time to come back, you press, bring everybody back. And then it gives people a 60-second, the breakout room's going to close.
Yeah. That's so good.
It's so good.
I love it. Yeah. So breakouts. Hello. That's fantastic. Logistically, you just made it way easy. Yeah. And I can see how that combination of the smaller groups and moments of the one-on-one through your VIP coaching, that over time, you start to really build this deep connection as a community. Because trying to do it with the whole group virtually is quite tricky, but I love these little things that you're doing that then create that overall feeling. That's awesome. Fantastic.
Katie, I would so love to have you come and check us out, because just already in our conversation, it's clear that we're your type of community, like that type of love. You're just going to love it. But also the technical stuff, I think you're going to go, oh my goodness, I'm learning so much about what these guys are doing. So just come, please. You'll be my guest. I just want to see your face in there. And you are the kind of person that lifts people up and encourages. I mean, it is truly your gifting. And you are the type of person who I love seeing inside of this community, because I know how much you impact people's lives. So, oh my goodness, it would be such an honor to have you in there.
Marcus, I would love to take you up on that offer. Really, let's plan on it. I will be there. I would love that.
Nice.
Yeah. This has been an incredible conversation. I don't want to end quite yet. I have a few rapid fire questions for you.
Let's do it.
What's something you do consistently every day?
Eat right.
Ooh.
Yeah, food. I know this is supposed to be fast, but food to me, it's fuel and it's data. I'm really a big proponent of food is data. So when you're consuming food, what are you telling yourself? What are you telling your body? What are you telling your mind? Well, what I like to tell myself is I really love myself. I want to see myself kill it for 120 years on this planet, unless God takes me sooner. I want my body to be doing things that only peak pinnacle bodies can do. And that's the demands I run on my body and my brain. And so I better fuel myself properly.
So good. I love that frame. Is there a book that you revisit? Maybe it's on your nightstand, you gift it frequently, you've read it more than once.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, there's two. Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you guys haven't read that, that is so good. We've talked about habits a bunch this episode. If you're like, I'm not sure if I'm good at putting together habits, read the book. It changes everything. It helps you build habits, stack habits, compound habits, helps you understand how habits work. And the other one is Good to Great. Good to Great by Jim Collins. I've read that book literally 7 times in the last 7 months. It is so impactful. It's not just for business people or employees. It makes an impact on your life. If you want to live a great life, not just a good life, if you want to run a great business, not just a good business, that book will change everything.
7 times in the last 7 months. That's a lot. I think I read that book 7 years ago, so I need to revisit it.
Do you know what's so funny? So did I. It was like 7 or 10 years ago. And then I was like, oh yeah, I should read it again. And I listened to it on Audible. So I'm in my sauna, I'm in my cold tub, and I'm just listening. And I had it on repeat because I'm like, you get so much new stuff out of it. You are a different person than you were 7 years ago. I guarantee it's going to impact you differently.
Yeah, I love it. I want you to go back to a time where it felt like what needed to happen in your life was impossible. Was there some advice? How did you overcome that? Was there good advice that somebody gave you?
I don't know if I can credit anybody other than God. Not that I'm just saying God didn't step into my life and say these words or anything. But what I recognize, and this is a life lesson for me that I will always take with me. Challenge all assumptions. We base our whole lives on assumptions. And this idea of like, it's impossible, I can't get out of this. Oh no, that is so incorrect. That is so incorrect. The only time that's not wrong is when you're already in the box. You're already dead. That's when you can't get out of it. Actually, that's not even true because I think God can just go ahead and pull you out of that box. But anyway, challenge your assumptions. Take a step back and say, what if I was wrong right now? What if there was a way out? What would that way out look like? One of the biggest problems when we're so focused like this and fear has taken over and the box has closed in on us, we're not in the right state to think of great things. When you're in that bad of a place, you see maybe one exit and it's like, oh, that's not good, but it's the only one. It's the only answer. That's not true. You got to change your state. Go into the woods, go get some fresh air, go get some exercise, change your state, look at it again and say, what if there was a second way out? Oh, actually, that's what it might look like. What if there's a third way out? Oh, there's lots of ways out. Just change everything. What if I moved to Mexico right now? Is that a way out? That's a way out. You can change. And so you don't have to narrow it down so much and be like, well, that's not reality. Don't worry about that right now. Just know, is there more than one answer? Yes, there's more than one. Great. Is there more than 5 answers? Now start coming up with some other ideas. And you're like, actually, the 6th one I thought of, that's not that bad. So yes, challenge all assumptions and do that every time. Do it every day. You will be amazed at how much your life changes.
Challenge all assumptions. What a great message to wrap up this incredible conversation. Marcus Kallias, this has been amazing. The book is called Play a Bigger Game. That's also the name of your community. We'll have links for everybody in the show notes. Marcus, what social platforms are you most active on?
Instagram, Facebook. Come and find me, DM me. I respond to all my DMs. I would love to hear if you found me on this podcast. I would love to connect with you. I'd love to have you as a guest. This is you, the listener. I'd love to have you a guest in the community. So just come and reach out to me. I'll give you a guest pass. Come check us out. Come spend some time in the hot tub with us. The water is really warm. But I also want to say this. Katie is doing such an amazing job. Will everybody please do me and her a favor? Will you go give her a 5-star review? This is amazing. She puts in so much work. She brings in guests. She's putting all of this time in for us. The least we can do is go give her a review. Katie, you're doing an amazing job. I was so grateful for this time. Seriously, one of my favorite interviews so far. I loved it. And I'm so grateful for you and what you're doing.
Wow. Marcus, thank you. I received that. That was beautiful. Thank you. So fantastic. Great to meet you. Excited to continue our conversation inside of your community. And for everybody who's listening, this is What's Working Now. Thanks for listening to the What's Working Now podcast. If you found today's episode to be interesting, be sure to share this with a friend. And if you are looking to level up your organization as a CEO, I'm going to invite you to join the Now newsletter. This is a weekly newsletter. I send it out on Fridays. I tell personal stories, talk about what it's like to build a significant business while raising a family, homeschooling kids. And I even share case studies, very timely, relevant situations where I go into detail how I am helping entrepreneurs navigate, lead, and build incredible organizations. You can get all of that behind the scenes information and more inside the Now newsletter. I've got a link to it right now in the show notes, and I will see you in the next episode.